Morning everybody, my name is Bear and today we're going to go through the process, a three-step process of creating an image transfer from one of my photographs to some handmade paper that I've created in another workshop. Today you're only going to need a small amount of materials, some Liquitex matte medium, a little bit of clear acrylic spray, some sponge brushes, and a couple of containers for now. I also use this blue tape because it lifts up off of my images very easily. So what we're going to do first is we're going to apply matte medium to our photograph and let it sit. We're going to add actually 3 coats, 2 coats to start with and then 1 coat to add to the paper when we're ready to go. And then finally the third step is we're going to rub off the back of the image to reveal the image transfer in our third step. So let's get started. I've taped down one of my images that I use for this process. We're just going to take some matte medium and coat the image with the matte medium. It doesn't have to be too thick to start with, but it needs to be even. You want as few streaks as possible, therefore you want to use as soft a brush as possible. In between each step you want to make sure that you let the acrylic dry completely so that it's clear before you proceed. Now this image has already gotten 2 coats, so we're going to do step 2 with this image so that you can see the process from beginning to end. Again, this is another one of those images that I've taken over the years that I'm creating my transfers with. This has 2 coats. I'm going to add a second coat and then I'm going to go ahead and put it onto the paper itself. The second time that you add acrylic matte medium to it, you want to have something that squeegees the excess amount of matte medium out from underneath the photograph. I just use any ID. You can use a credit card. If you have a real squeegee you could use it, but I kind of like these. They're hard and not very flexible, so that they really squeeze out everything. So I'm going to go ahead and take my matte medium. This time I'm going to add a little bit of excess of matte medium because I want to make sure that I get a goodly amount on the image so that there's no place that's going to pop up once I apply it to my handmade paper. And again, don't be stingy on this part of it because we'll squeegee out the excess as we go. So there's the matte medium, and I'm going to go ahead and pull off my tape. And I'll add a little tiny bit more of matte medium to the corners to make sure I get a really, really good stick on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to center the image on my paper upside down and squeegee out the remainder. So I'm going to first kind of look it over to make sure I visually centered it. I'm going to put down one side of the image and then I'm just going to kind of gently press and pull to the outside to get all the air bubbles out of it. And then finally, I'm going to use my credit card to really push down and make sure that I've got the image well sealed. You notice that I'm pushing from the center outward and pushing down in the corners. There may be a couple of places where the image didn't stick well, and I might have to lift up a corner to be able to get it to stay properly, but that's it for the second step.